It's 7 a.m. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
For 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck.
Wow. What a weekend over on South Campus of the University of New Mexico. You're going to the NCAA tournament. You're going to North Carolina as a voice. I mean, are you doing these games and going? What a night out at the soccer complex on Saturday night. Cold, chilly, rainy, and what really I thought was a slow second half turned into an unbelievable finish that people who were there and people who were involved will remember it forever. What's up, y'all? Happy Monday. Welcome to the work week. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck. The Lobos beat San Diego State in women's soccer 3-2, advance to the NCAA tournament, win the national, win the Mountain West Conference Championship in a game that they were down 1-0. Scored 2 goals. I thought were the better team, controlled it. And with 4 seconds left, San Diego State tied it up and put it in overtime. And I'm just going to tell you, JJ, I don't know how you felt at the time. Heather Dyke said she never had a doubt. I know how those things tend to go, right? You give up a lead when you're basically celebrating, and those things don't always end up the way they did. But Jaden Edwards with a second chance shot, her second goal of the night, and Lobos win 3-2 and trigger the celebration.
Well, I know for everyone else that was in attendance, I was rooting for New Mexico. The doubt absolutely began to creep in when San Diego State tied that with just 4 seconds left. You're right. The second half was tough. It was survival mode. It was a grind. It was a bunch of clearances, just trying to keep the ball away from San Diego State. And you see, this about 20 seconds left. A corner kick opportunity for San Diego State. Chloe Frisch just runs to the corner as fast as she can
to get it off.
And it falls to the feet of the best player on the Aztecs, Anna Tui, who curls one in. It might have taken a deflecting off Brocha. She got credit for the goal, but it was so close to even coming off her arm, but it sneaks into that far corner. And to see the roller coaster of emotions in pretty much just a 10-minute period that New Mexico dealt with. Oh, because, by the way, there's something that happened that you don't see very much, too, early in overtime, an indirect
I thought it was over
kick,
there, too, in the box.
Yeah, you figure, oh, my goodness, you give up the goal, you have an indirect free kick. Emily Johnson with the huge mistake, so she picked up a ball, and a keeper can't pick up a ball inside the 18-yard box if it's passed back from your own player. You just got to clear it, move it on, and the shot goes wide from San Diego State. And so there's your moment of relief, and then just a few minutes later, Lobos were able to answer with the game winner.
Yeah, 3-2, they win, and it was amazing. The free kick inside the box, what was it, about 12 yards, essentially?
So the keeper's box is 6, so it was even closer than that.
It was,
It was
so
right there, yeah.
Lobos lined everybody up on the goal line, and nobody really had to make a play because the shot went wide. It was an insane night. JJ, great call. You and Tyler did a terrific job on that, and the broadcast looked great, and it looked chilly. It obviously, for the San Diego girls to come up, not only play at altitude but play in that cold and wind, it was certainly an advantage for New Mexico, but it was an earned advantage, and they won it. So we got a lot to do there, and we're not done talking about that. In fact, Jaden Edwards, who scored the game-winning goal, the golden goal, the championship goal, is going to be with us coming up at 9:30 to talk about that, to talk about the experience, and now on to the NCAA tournament for the University of New Mexico, who's lost just once this year, and he's conference champion and going back to the postseason. So we'll talk with Jaden coming up at 9:30. The other big news coming out of South Campus broke last night a little after 6 o'clock, and this is something I talked to you about, and I don't know if I told you on Friday, but I've been hearing just too many whispers, and I knew this was coming. Ray Birmingham is going to retire at the end of the season. 43 years of coaching baseball in New Mexico, 14 at the University of New Mexico. He's 66 years old. His contract was up. By every report, UNM has offered him an extension. And this is one of those where, well, if you knew, Jeff, why do you tell me? This is one where, and I think I told you this a couple of weeks ago, this is one where Ray's earned it. Nobody needs to break this story. Let him announce this. But there were just too many people that I know real close to that program that were telling me that this was coming. It's one of those where, gosh, you kind of feel like he's got something left in the tank. He's probably going to join us tomorrow. But I'm interested to hear, his whole thought process, because he's meant so much to the program. Yeah, he didn't get to Omaha unless they get there this year. And I know that was when you set a bar like that, there's going to be the genes of the world who tell you didn't succeed. But this man got to the regionals 5 times, won 4 championships in this league, and before he got here, the school had been to the postseason 1 time, and he's basically built the facility. And whoever comes in is taking over a program that is in A, very good standing, and in B, very good shape. And this community, and I don't know what Ray's going to do. I have an idea, but I think this community is going to miss Ray Birmingham in this capacity, because I think he was so good, not just for that baseball program, but certainly for this state and for this city.
For the New Mexico kid, for the New Mexico people, he brought that energy. He brought that attitude that anyone in this state can do anything they want. They can compete at the highest level. They can get it done, and it translated to that program, the work that he was able to do on the field, but then all the extra support that he was able to drum up, to invest in baseball. And it's tough. Olympic sports have a lot of work to do when it comes to facilities, etc. And he was able to get the amenities for his student athletes, get people interested in that program. And you run it down, going from Mayfield to the University of the Southwest, New Mexico Junior College, and then to University of New Mexico. It's the ultimate New Mexico career.
And it's a great one. And it's a great ultimate New Mexico career. 406, 320, and 4 as the UNM coach, won a national championship at NMJC. But to your point on the New Mexico kid and just New Mexico, and this is where Danny is with it. And Steve Alford came up with the mantra, and it's not incredibly creative, but it meant, when it was "We Are New Mexico," was meant as a positive. And so often as well, we're New Mexico, and it's been used as an excuse, an explanation why we can't do things. And that this gentleman used it as a reason why you can, as a positive. And to your point on the New Mexico kid and how many New Mexico kids have gone on to play professional baseball because of Ray Birmingham, how many New Mexico kids have gotten a chance because of Ray Birmingham. And it's not exclusive. I mean, he's gotten good players from all over the country, but he's given the New Mexico kid a chance. And to say we are New Mexico
was a positive thing. Never thought to be a negative. And I know in a lot of cases it's thought that way. The story goes, Paul Krebs hired him. Great hire by Paul Krebs. But there's somebody very, very, a native New Mexican, a businessman, former politician, who told me a story that he went to Paul and said, "You got to hire this guy." He says, "I'm not hiring that guy." They did a national search, and Paul had his guys from this school and that school or whatever, and finally convinced him to interview Ray Birmingham, and came out and hired Ray Birmingham. Ray impressed him, obviously, and who Ray is, and however he got that job in 14 years ago. I don't see a scenario where even Gene can tell me, and maybe he will, that UNM baseball is not better off than they were 14 years ago, and the program is not in a better spot, and that's because of Ray Birmingham.
And you point on the New Mexico talent too. It's being able to keep those kids in state, and we've seen some really good baseball players come out of New Mexico. It's one of the sports that it does pop when you look at the talent overall, and then when you're able to get in those races, yeah, sure, a couple are going to go other places. It happens. It's the opportunity that you have when you're a talented high school athlete to make that decision. But he was able to keep a lot of the really good talent in state, and that's why you have that connection now. Lobos in the major leagues are littered, across rosters of professional baseball.
Yeah, no, I looking forward to hearing from Ray today. I believe he'll be with us tomorrow. He certainly, I had a brief text exchange with him last night and congratulated him, and I'm really happy for him. But now he and Chris can go enjoy things, and interested in your thoughts as you heard this, because I think it probably wasn't a surprise, but there's certainly not a shock, but maybe a surprise to the system, because I got an email already. John says, I thought he'd be here forever. I mean, he was a guy that was so positive in a time in that athletic program where they needed positive came from that man, and he was influential on campus, influential and a really calming voice amongst coaches, and just a super positive throughout that athletic department. 505-246-0610 is how you get to us today. 888-922-0610. Emails come in, Jeff or JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. That's Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Follow Twitter. It's _JJ Buck. And on the Facebook, you can watch this show. Aaron's producing on ProView Networks. It's the OD in the AM. We'll hear the final call from the Lobo women's soccer. We got a lot of baseball to get through over the weekend. Good baseball, good basketball. A big get for Lobo basketball on Friday afternoon that we have to talk about as well. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Micah, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide on Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk Live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Micah, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you
played, top of the 18. Morgan's there, one-on-one with the keeper, and that opens the scoring. Rachel Morgan, the senior, finds the back of the net, and it's 1-0 St. Mike's.
Oliveras for 3, yes.
Well, I like that young man.
Good transition opportunity for the Bulldogs. Deep three's up, and it's good by number 11, Annika Reed.
Rowe gets it, boots it forward. Myers is there. She's able to head it, and she controls. Dugan's there. She's at the center. She gets across, shoots, and scores! Hello! What can you say there? Hello! And that is Alexa Duggan, who goes across the body.
There. Gonzalez going to get all the way to the basket here off the window with the extra kiss, and it's good for Gonzalez.
How about play to the top of the 18? Morgan. Nice turn. Morgan, left-footed shot. Morgan! 3-0. And that is a brace for Rachel Morgan, the senior from St. Michael's.
Underneath for Alter, tries the slam and does it. So in two. Here comes the pressure. Hasbury takes it away and sends it in.
Well, there's a top 10 play right there, I can tell you that.
Ford pushes it across. Drano coming out. There's Edwards, and in the back of the net. Get the trophy. The New Mexico Lobos are your Mountain West Conference champions.
It's JJ Buck on the Mountain West Network calling you've called 2 championships in a month, dude. You got to call 2 conference championships in a month. That's pretty good living, man.
It's been a lot of fun, and that game definitely vaulted into the top 3 moments that I've been able to call, and 2 of them are soccer. I go back to last men's NCAA tournament appearance that they had. They hosted a first-round game that went to PKs that the Lobos were victorious in. And then, of course, what UNM women's basketball was able to do to win that conference championship this year. It's fun, and it's a credit to the players, the coaches at the University of New Mexico, especially this season, everything that's gone on to see 2 Mountain West Conference trophies on that campus, plus all the other work that's being done.
So women's sports season it's been delayed, but cross country won a championship, women's basketball won a championship, women's soccer won a championship. It's been pretty good delayed season for the ladies down on South Campus. Of course, baseball's still going. Women's soccer now going to the NCAA tournament. Jaden Edwards, who scored that goal, that golden goal, will be with us coming up at 9:30 to talk about it. We're going to hear from Heather Dyke coming up a little bit later, the head coach, the coach of the year, who said she never doubted. Do you really believe? I'm sure she didn't. Never doubted. I'm not going to lie. And I wasn't there. I had some stuff here, and I enjoyed the JJ broadcast sitting in the warmth of my living room. But when San Diego State scored with 4 seconds, you could hear. Do they always do that? The PA guy always counts it down, or was he just counting it down to a championship?
No, they usually count down the final 10 seconds of the game.
It almost felt like taunting to me. And the young lady from San Diego State, as the ball went out, she raced to get that ball placed on a corner kick, and got it in because it was about 18, 20, 18, 16 seconds, counting, with the running clock to get that thing in. And when San Diego State scored with 4 seconds to go, it was like gulp. Like I heard it across town, that gulp. And I mean, I don't know. You've seen enough of those things where you're celebrating 2 outs, bottom of the ninth, 1 out away, 2-run lead, 1 on, and here's the 2 strike. Oh, there's a fly ball to right field. It's gone. We're going extra innings, and it doesn't. The team who was celebrating. And I'm not telling you that they let up. That's not what. But that whole place was popping. You could feel it, right? The whole place was ready to go. And sit down. You're not storming the field yet, and it doesn't always go the way you want it to go when you're the home team.
Absolutely. There is, as I mentioned, definitely doubt creeped in like crazy at that end of the game because it was just a grind of the second half, just absolute survival mode, even more the final 10 minutes, just clearances, trying to keep the ball in the corner, just not let San Diego State get comfortable and to have that happen with 4 seconds left because in collegiate soccer, it's 2 45-minute halves. Like, they're not going to put up a board and say, oh, here's an extra 3
Here's
minutes.
another,
Like, that was the last 4 seconds. Like, once that hit triple zeros, that would have been game over. And then to see San Diego State score in that moment, and then they came out with the energy, too, right at the start of overtime and put the pressure on New Mexico. But just to handle the emotions, it is credit to Heather. You know, whether she believed it or not, that team was able to take a couple haymakers in the biggest moments,
no doubt,
and bounce back to win.
No, I mean, you talk about character, and it's so easy. We talk, you know, it's thrown around all the time, right? Oh, this team has character. This team doesn't quit. This team's been through a lot. I mean, everybody's got that same thing. It's one thing to verbalize it. That was character. Show me, and so does San Diego State, by the way. Character is to tie that thing with 4 seconds to go in the freezing cold when you're from San Diego, when it's always 73 degrees and you're out there. I mean, just the pictures of their sideline, like New Mexico had the little shield and San Diego State was just standing there in every parka they could find. I don't even know if they own, well, they probably barred them for the football team because they have to go play games up in the Rocky Mountain region. But they had the character by them and you know, I thought their goaltender just gave up a couple of rebounds, but she made some nice saves. But she certainly got tested, and I just and at the risk of sounding wrong, and I don't even care, I like the college game where the clock stops during the match because you can't just sit there and waste a bunch of time. There's an injury, the clock stops, and the amount of time on the clock. How much time's left in the match? There's not some hocus pocus. All right, we're gonna give it another 3.5, 4 minutes. Call it 5. Whenever the referee blows the whistle, we'll stop the game. I think people enjoy knowing exactly how much time is left in the match.
Yeah, it works, and I think it's, you know, it's a situation and whatever you're going into, you know what the clock is going to be. There's a couple things that are intriguing about the collegiate game, like unlimited substitutions. You can bring players back in. You know, I think it does.
So I didn't know that
for collegiate athletes.
Yeah,
and that's the big thing with Jaden Edwards too. By the way, she got
hurt
that game with a knee injury in the second half, and we were all worried for a second because there are 3 players on crutches on that sideline this season that have suffered knee injuries for the Lobos. Leilani Baker was one of the starting forwards this season. She got hurt early in the year. They had an outstanding transfer come in, local kid coming back that got hurt in practice. And then you see that happen to Jaden Edwards, and you're just like, oh, no. Like, here we go again. But luckily, she avoided major injury and came back in and scored the game-winning goal.
Yeah, and you know, watching, you were saying, I tuned in a little bit late, and you were saying, you know, still no Gwen Malley. And I'm like, what? No, oh, okay, she came back. I didn't know about the unlimited substitutions. Again, I think I like that at the college game, too. I don't know if I would say, you know, put that in the pro game unlimited, but you know, once you're out, you're out. But whatever, I enjoyed, you know, I enjoyed the call, I enjoyed the game, and if you were out there, I'd love your thoughts. The JJ, that felt like the atmosphere really speared by Danny Gonzalez and that football team, huh?
It was fantastic because they knew. You look at the weekend, you're like, yeah, this is going to be a spring weekend in Albuquerque. It's going to go from nice to a rough couple of days, and you know, credit UNM, they sold it out. The capacity was 1,500. They put it out there like, hey, if you're coming out, just bundle up. Fans showed out. The football team was there behind the goal. I thought that was fantastic because, of course, football team's still being tested and stuff, so they're allowed to be in that area. And it was just nice, man. It was the biggest crowd they've played in front of all season long. And I was talking with Mike Freese and the Aztec head coach, and he was like, yeah, we haven't played in front of a crowd all year. Like, the biggest might have been like 50 people. So this was just a great experience for everyone involved. Of course, rough for San Diego State, but the game at least had the attention, the atmosphere that it deserved in a time like this.
Did cold and or altitude affect San Diego State, do you think? I'm not looking for excuses.
Yeah, I think there were some moments at the end you saw some tired legs from San Diego State. Absolutely. Because their forwards, the first 10 minutes, it was a shock to the system. Because there's just no one in the Mountain Division that New Mexico played that had forwards like that. And you saw that. And you saw that right out the gate. Is it this quickness? All right. How we have to respond? They're getting by Mays and Isaiah, the center backs, who've been so good for the Lobos, and absolutely you didn't necessarily see that same burst late in the game from San Diego State.
Yeah. I wonder, the cold piece, because they only played divisional games. I didn't look at you probably have their schedule in front of them. Who would have been the coldest play? I mean, anywhere? Any altitude in that?
Yeah, they played at Boise, but I'm not sure what.
Yeah, what the temperature was when they were there. Yeah. So, all right, 505-246-0610. Again, Jaden Edwards, the hero of that game with the golden goal, is going to join us at 9:30. But you talked about the weather changing. We got to have to go out and play some. I got JJ on the golf course, Aaron, on Friday. We talked. Well, I mean,
I was there. That was one thing.
Yeah. He played JJ played 17 holes. And it was a relatively nice day, and then it turned crazy windy. We did get lacrosse in, by the way, after that too. 14-3 good guys. Addie scored her first varsity goal and got her first varsity, and she reminds me ever, yellow card. Which I was okay with her. She didn't know how to respond. She's out for 2 minutes. She's I'm like, baby, it's okay. And I had her watch some games this weekend. It happens all the time. And coach went over and said, it's okay. Like I spent hours in the penalty box. And but she went in, and coach has been talking about shooting right-handed, but when go left-handed, change hands, playing lacrosse when it mattered, when it's right. So she went in left-handed. She was triple teamed, and they called it for a. What was basically it was a dangerous shot. There's a better word for it. I'm she'll tell me when she wakes up. But basically, coming in, and I guess her stick came close to hitting somebody, and so instead of the triple team getting called, she got called for the dangerous propel. That's what it is, dangerous propel. She didn't know what she did, but I will give her credit because she came back and played aggressive and was tied for the team leading ground balls and scored late in the game and got her first varsity goal. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, and then it got windy and cold. Right after that, it got windy and cold. But my point is, when we were on the golf course, we got some news. We haven't talked about it. Lobo basketball got a big recruit, and I want to talk about that and what that means when we come back. We're going to get into Dodgers and Padres now. Because let me just tell you, Dodgers and Padres is a fun watch. We just tell the Padres they didn't win the World Series yet. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
The last-ditch effort for the Wildcats. They are cornered right now. That ball goal! It's the long goal from Contreras! Holy cow! Luke Contreras absolutely launched that ball. And Kumar takes the shot, and that is it! We didn't make it an entire minute into this overtime before Oliver Kumar delivered the winning score. Look at those boys celebrate down there, dogpiling on top of number 6.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
DCE Systems want to help schools reopen and keep the students, teachers, and staff safe. We can also help every business reopen and keep their employees and customers safe as well. Don't just disinfect. Novalent antimicrobial technology provides ongoing residual protection against bacteria and viruses and is proven to last up to 90 days. That's right, up to 90 days. Call us today at 505-507-7722 or or go to dcesystems.inc.com to learn more. DCE Systems are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspets.com.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened?
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car
And
Crafters.
95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
A lot of UNM news over the weekend, and it really started on Friday afternoon. It's the opening drive, Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck. JJ, I think you looked at your phone somewhere on the back nine as you were. What you guys all part 16, right? Is that the one you guys all part? I'll take the hit.
Got one, baby. Got one.
You guys all part 16. Played a pretty good front though. Right? I mean, will you give me that? I played a pretty good front nine. Aaron 2 over.
Well, especially with what we were dealing with on the greens.
Yeah, but thanks to the people out at Ladera, it was good to be out there and just kind of hadn't played that track in a while. But yeah, they just sanded the greens, Aaron. Yeah, about a half an inch of sand on the greens. Everything was a 2-putt.
Actually helped my game out though, the 2-putt rule. So that helped me out a lot.
Yeah. I had a good shot at that birdie on that par 3 too. Jamal Mashburn, transfer from Minnesota, son of the former NBA player Jamal Mashburn. So Jamal Mashburn Jr. is transferring to the University of New Mexico. He played for Richard Pitino at Minnesota, and so you got a good 1-2 punch. You get House from Arizona State on Thursday, Mashburn from Minnesota on Friday, and obviously they're not done. This feels like a really good get. Like the House one was I'm like, okay, that's good. I think you got a good point guard. Like it's a nice get. Jamal Mashburn feels like a real positive, and obviously there's something with him and Richard Pitino in that relationship. 4-star recruit and a guy with lineage who played well in the Big Ten, who you've seen it at that level. Like everything about that one gets you excited from the name recognition all the way through how the young man played when he was at Minnesota.
Yeah, especially when you look at what he did the last 9 games of Big Ten play, raising his scoring average to 13.6 points per game, stepping up and becoming a bigger playmaker, because he was playing behind Marcus Carr, who was an all-conference guard at Minnesota. So even being a 4-star recruit coming in with that name recognition, he had work to do, and he did it. He sat back, and then when his opportunity arose, it came on late at the end of the season. It's a huge addition to the backcourt because now all of a sudden the Lobos are a little bit heavy with guards, but they needed some pop, and especially when it comes to scoring and adding Mashburn to that backcourt. If he is a guy that can take over, pressure, obviously, Singleton and Francis to elevate their games, because you're looking, you say, all right, Javonte Johnson, I like the potential if he can develop over 2 to 3 years to become a scorer, but they didn't have that guy. And Jamal Mashburn is that guy you're looking for in terms of, all right, who's going to get a bucket, who can go out there and get one in a tough situation, and it's going to be Mashburn.
You look at the roster, you talk about teams, oh, that's an all-airport team. Gosh, they look good in the airport. Oh, they're big, they're strong. They look like Byron Matos. They got an all-roster team. Oh, they got a transfer from Carolina and Minnesota and Arizona State, right? And Wichita State, at least as of now. But what does it mean? This one, to me, is the first one that starts to turn the corner. Like again, like I told you, the Arizona State piece, the house transfer, was I thought was a really good get, and I'm looking forward to see him, and that's probably your point guard. But the Jamal Mashburn piece, I really like. But to your point, now you got to go find some front court players, and I'm sure Richard's doing that. But this one validates a lot of everything you heard about Richard, right? People love him. People enjoy playing for him. You haven't heard a bad word come out of anybody in Minnesota. That was the whole. I'm trying. Very, very similar to Paul in a lot of respects. Nice guy. We wish him well. Good luck wherever you go. But it was time to make a move, right?
Yes.
So we'll see. Who's next? But 13, like you said, 13.6 points a game in his last 9 games, and behind Marcus Carr. So I like that. Would you expect more coming soon? Because that transfer portal is just hopping.
I think especially the piece being finalized by the NCAA on the one-time free transfer, even with trying to figure out the extra of eligibility for all these players, I think that did push some dominoes forward, and that's when we started to see House and Mashburn announced to New Mexico, and there was reading that story from Jeff Grammer pointed out 1,390
1,400 players
players in the transfer portal. So it's going to take some time for a lot of these guys, but definitely I expected kind of once that was made official to start seeing some more of those names dropping, especially at New Mexico.
What do you make of pedigree? Because I do. Jalen House, his dad played in the NBA. Jamal Mashburn Jr., his dad played in the NBA. There's no guarantees, and that is just because your dad played in the NBA doesn't mean you're a great player. Sometimes it means you're not, actually. Sometimes it means you're just there on your name, and sometimes it means you got a great start and you're going to be even better than your dad. So I'm not telling you from the talent. There's a mindset, right? I always talk about coaches' kids. I always loved the way Kellen Moore played. Always loved the way Kellen Moore played. A coach's kid, right? He grew up, his dad was a high school coach. And you go down the list of basketball players and you say, Steve Alford, coach's kid, loved the way he played. There's something to that. There's something about a former player's son as well. A guy who made it to the NBA, kid who probably grew up with a ball in his hand. You get 2 of those. I don't know if that means anything at all to you. In reality, it probably means nothing. But there's something to guys who have daddy to live up to, and there's in many of them there's a drive, right? There's a drive. There's an inherent basketball sense. Does that make any sense to you?
It does, especially when you look at these 2 players, because they've, even young in their careers, carved out really a name of their own. Because it's not like Eddie House and Jamal Mashburn Sr. are necessarily like the mega names in the NBA, but we know, okay, they played and they had their moments. And still, you don't just become a highly recruited player just because of your last name. You have to perform at a high level, and these 2 players did perform at high levels to get their power conference offers, and I definitely think there is a different pressure, and to handle that as someone when you're living up to the expectation of any parent is incredibly difficult, especially if you're doing the same exact thing that they did, in this case, playing the game of basketball. So I definitely think it is interesting. And then, two, you wonder for House and Mashburn Jr., kind of how that equates with Richard Pitino, because he's doing the same thing just on the coaching side.
Oh, it's exactly right. I mean, they're both next generation, following in the family business, so to speak. And excuse me, Jalen House's dad, Eddie, all-time leading scorer at Arizona State, and there's a lot of pressure there playing it at the alma mater where you look at the top of the record books. That's my dad, and so he decided to go not far from home. And then Jamal Mashburn Jr., his dad was a stud college player, really good NBA player. And he's found a coach in Richard Pitino, whose dad is a Hall of Fame coach. And, maybe there is something to that. It's a really good point. All right, one other transfer portal piece. I'm not telling you this validates what I'm saying, but it certainly got my attention. The Big Sky Player of the Year is leaving the Big Sky and going to the Big 12. Tanner Groves was the Big Sky Player of the Year at Eastern Washington. He had a big game in the NCAA tournament. He's 6'9". He's a big man. He's really good. Eastern Washington couldn't keep him. Now, the piece here that might invalidate my theory on this, that the big guys are going to come in and just use these mid-majors as a minor league, is Eastern Washington had a coaching change. So Tanner Groves has gone through it, and he said, you know what, that's my coach. I'm going to go somewhere else. He went to the transfer portal, and he's going to Oklahoma, and that's Porter Mosier's first big get, is the Big Sky Player of the Year. But you see my fear, right? Eastern Washington's got a stud. They win their league. They go to the NCAA tournament. Their studs on display, and boom, here comes big bad Oklahoma and swooping in. But I thought it was significant that the Big Sky Player of the Year has decided to go to Oklahoma, and I think it's a good get for Porter Mosier.
I think it's a good get for Porter Mosier. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for the player and for Eastern Washington. Much like when coaches leave, you know what? You say, thank you.
That's right.
We got to NCAA tournament. Had a heck of a game against Kansas. And we're on to find the next one.
Yeah, and this is a guy who averaged 17 points and 8 rebounds a game. And he shot a big guy, 6'9", that shot 35% from three-point range. And had a big game in the NCAA tournament. He scored 35 points, 5 three-pointers in their loss to Kansas in the first round. 505-246-0610 if you want to get in today. 888-922-0610. Jaden Edwards is going to be with us coming up at 9:30. She, the hero on Saturday night for Lobo women's soccer to get him to the NCAA tournament. Hey, fellas, how you feeling to start your week? Hope you're feeling good. If not, maybe you're dealing with things like, I don't know, fatigue. Things like low T, hair loss, fatigue, they're normal as men age. Good chance it's going to happen to you, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. But there is something that you can do to battle it. If you're regularly tired, maybe carrying a few extra pounds, dealing with erectile dysfunction, I suggest you call NuMale. NuMale leads the way in helping men deal with these issues they have for years. Testosterone replacement, which utilizes the latest cutting-edge technology. Men all over the country benefit from this. They feel better. The phone number is 505-652-1688. That's 505-652-1688, or visit NuMale. That's NuMale.com. Fellas, NuMale is convenient. They're right here in Albuquerque. The process is comfortable. Starts with your phone call, goes all the way through the treatment. NuMale will guide you through the process. And the best part is the results are absolutely real. 505-652-1688. Don't put it off. Take care of you. Visit NuMale.com or call 505-652-1688 and feel better.
The Chalupa Cravings Box is an abundant collection of Taco Bell favorites.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer 0 for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
At New Mexico Highlands University, you're more than a student, you're family. Whether you're taking courses in Las Vegas, Santa Fe, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, or Farmington, you'll get that one-on-one attention to inspire you to reach your goals. Let New Mexico Highlands help take your passion and accelerate it into a career and fulfilling life path. Find out why New Mexico Highlands is the right choice for you. Log on to NewMexicoHighlands.com today.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Plan your adventure at WNMU.edu.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Hayes. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Greg Martinez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Hi, I'm Marilena Fernandez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
The New Mexico Army National Guard is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics.
888-922-0610. 888-922-0610. Brought to you by Quan's Auto Care Collision and Repair. 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal. Woohoo!
Good baseball over the weekend, too. I don't know where JJ is now, but you catch that Dodger-Padres series? Aaron did. Good one on Friday night. A 1-0 game on Saturday, and then the Padres came back and thought they won the World Series yesterday, beat the Dodgers 5-2. Dodgers win the series 2-1. But, boys, I'm going to tell you now, Dodgers-Padres, they play 19 times this season, so that was there's 16 more. It's kind of must-watch TV if you like baseball.
No doubt about it. And the Dodgers needed this. They needed someone that, I don't care if the Padres haven't won the World Series yet, they needed someone to push them, to challenge them, to get their edge this regular season. And the Padres will absolutely do that, because every time LA steps on the field with them, to your point, they're going to remind them, you guys haven't done anything. We're the ones with the World Series rings. So this was a huge positive for the Dodgers, because this entire season is going through the motions, just getting set for the playoffs. But now they have those moments against the Padres where they are locked back in. The energy around those cities in that clubhouse is next level, and it is fun to watch.
Yeah, it's one thing to paddle the Rockies around every time you play them and play them 15, 18, whatever times and beat them, all but twice, 16 out of 18 or whatever. I watched the Giants just urinate down their leg against the Marlins the other night. It's anytime the Giants can blow a late game lead, it's a beautiful thing. The Marlins are a nice little team, gutty little team that we'll get into later. But look, the Padres need to just kind of tame themselves a little bit. They chirp a lot. Like the game, the 5-hour game on Friday night. When who was it that got hit late in the game? It was Profar.
Yeah.
There's a guy on third base in extra innings. Pitcher's not trying to hit you. Can we be very clear? He's not trying to hit you, and you start chirping like go to first base. And it's the same dude who swung backwards to get a catcher's interference call the next day, and Clayton Kershaw was talking about the Bolshoi. Could you read your lips? Or somehow he was going to the Bolshoi and seeing an opera. I get it, man. This was a big deal. The Padres have this circled, and it's a young team who was decided they're here, and I love everything about them. I do. I love their city, their uniforms, their colors, their manager, their players, like everything except for they're the Padres, and I'm a Dodger fan. But they need to just kind of pretend that they've been there, even though they haven't. And that's what this series said to me more than anything this year. Look, the Padres are good and they're going to challenge, but you can't play every game in April like it's the end of the World Series. As much as you say you should. Like
you
relax.
Can't against the Dodgers.
Relax.
It's only 3 days.
Okay.
They're not going to act like that against the Rockies. They're not going to act like that against the Giants. And I don't want to take away from what got them here. If that's their attitude, that energy right now, so be it. It's with anything. If you're going to do it, then you got to own it. And there were times the Padres had to own it this weekend. And for me, I'm all about that. Yeah, the Dodgers are ultimately going to tell you where you belong, but don't stop. Don't stop pushing back on them, because that's who you are. And for those 19 games this year, those are the ones that are going to be feisty, that are going to be must-watch television in April for Major League Baseball.
Yeah, and it was. I did everything I can to find the Dodgers-Padres this weekend. Everything I can, because it was, I was going back and forth with some of my my buddies who are Padre fans, and they're like you, they're loving it, and they've been Padre fans a little bit longer than you. But it was a Dodger fan. Aaron, I don't know what you thought. I mean, it was fun just to watch that, and I agree with you, JJ. It's good. Let's not win the division by 18 games and tuck it away, by September 1. Let's get pushed a little bit, and I'm down with it. And it's good that these gutsy little Padres think that they're here and they're something. But go get it. But easy, man. They're not trying to hit you. The whole the barking bag. Like at some point, there will be fists thrown between these two teams this year. Do you agree?
Fisticuffs.
Yeah. After look in game 1, they were chirping. In game 1, the bench is emptied. Game 2, they were chirping again.
Feels like maybe like a July thing. You're like, you know what? I could use a couple days off. Let me charge the mound.
Heat of the summer. Someone's coming after somebody. Don't you think? Oh, by the way, the Dodgers didn't have Bellinger. Pollock didn't play. They did throw their 3 best pitchers, and their starting pitchers were damn good. Their starting pitchers were really good. The bullpen, a little shaky yesterday. Jaden Edwards is going to join us coming up at 9 o'clock. We got more baseball to talk about, too. The NBA was good this weekend, too. And what is a super league, JJ? Shaking up the world of soccer. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Aaron produces for you on the ProView Network side. Robert Cat on the radio side. You can call him at 246-0610. It's the opening drive. Merry Monday to you. Glad you're listening to us on 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Played, top of the 18. Morgan's there, one-on-one with the keeper, and that opens the scoring. Rachel Morgan, the senior, finds the back of the net, and it's 1-0 St. Mike's.
Oliveras for 3, yes.
Well, I like that young man.
Good transition opportunity for the Bulldogs. Deep three's up, and it's good by number 11, Annika Reed.
Rowe gets it, boots it forward. Myers is there, she's able to head it, and she controls. Dugan's there, she's at the center. She gets across, shoots, and scores! Hello! What can you say there? Hello! And that is Alexa Duggan, who goes across the body.
There. Gonzalez going to get all the way to the basket here off the window with the extra kiss, and it's good for Gonzalez.
That ball played to the top of the 18. Morgan. Nice turn. Morgan, left-footed shot. Morgan! 3-0. And that is a brace for Rachel Morgan, the senior from St. Michael's.
Underneath for Alter, tries the slam and does it. So in 2. Here comes the pressure. Hasbury takes it away and sends it in.
There's a top 10 play right there, I can tell you that.
The last-ditch effort for the Wildcats. They are cornered right now. That ball goal! It's the long goal from Contreras! Holy cow! Luke Contreras absolutely launched that ball. Contreras. And Kumar takes the shot, and that is it. We didn't make it an entire minute into this overtime before Oliver Kumar delivered the winning score. Look at those boys celebrate down there, dogpiling on top of number 6.
For your business or your home. BCEC.
Love to give games away, don't they? Gave one away to the Knicks, who won 6 in a row. The Warriors, watching Tatum and Steph go at each other on Saturday night was a good time, although you were out at the soccer match watching that. Heat beating the Nets on a buzzer beater last night. Bam! Adebayo with that. So you got good watches over the weekend. Stuart Sink winning the RBC. Big on that as well. And of course, Lobo women's soccer. JJ Buck had the call with Tyler Ortega as Lobo women get the golden goal in overtime. Jaden Edwards, 5 minutes into overtime to win the Mountain West Conference Championship. And what was not the championship game, it was the final game, and they were going to hand the winner a championship trophy. Have you ever figured that out? Can someone explain to me why that couldn't be called a championship game, or at least they were asking? Like help me with the semantics.
Because the Mountain West made it difficult. So like this is
Why,
just an
though?
extension of the regular season. It's like it's okay. Did you look at this year? Nothing was the same. You don't usually play divisions. You did that to get through the year. So you could have, just because you didn't play a tournament doesn't mean you can't call the final a championship game. But it's just what they did for record purposes. So these are like regular season stats for both teams in the Mountain West Conference final. But yet you won and you got to put on a championship hat and T-shirt and raise a trophy.
I don't get it. Is there an RPI for women's soccer or a metric along those lines? And if so, do you know? I mean, where do you expect the Lobos to be seated? They've got a terrific record. Their goals against, I think they've given up 4 goals all season, right? 5 goals all season. I mean, where do you expect them? What kind of seed do you expect?
Yeah, it's 4 goals. All right, so 11 games played, 4 goals against. There are metrics. I don't know it off the top of my head. I probably should know that at this point in time. But I think it's a little different given the fact that every game is going to be played in North Carolina. So it's pretty much exactly what we just saw with the men's and women's basketball tournaments. They're going to be playing at multiple venues in the state of North Carolina. Of course, there's a ton of collegiate campuses available in North Carolina. So normally you'd be looking at it and say Lobos would probably be playing on the road at the host venue of the team in the first round, but it's a little bit different given the neutral site game. They're probably going to have a pretty good opponent on the other side. But it's the 48-team field. I think they should get some credit for what they did, because here's the thing, is you look at the west of the Mountain West, and 4 of the top 5 teams in the preseason poll were over there. The people had a better opinion of the upper end of the Western Division, even though the Lobos still did receive 1 first-place vote and were voted third after Boise State and San Diego State were picked tied for first to win the division. But they left no doubt. Against the teams that they played in the Mountain Division, they absolutely left no doubt, and they showed they could rise to the occasion. So I think they'll get a solid seed, but, as you'd expect when you see anything in the college ranks, you'll have a bunch of power conference teams littered at the top and see how it plays out after that.
All right, you spoke with Heather Dyke after that, and Bob, I think we've got that ready to go, or I'm asking kind of if we do. The head coach of Lobo women's soccer, who said, so many of the right things coming in here. And again, here's another local, and you look, your retiring baseball coach, your football coach, and your women's soccer coach, who are having so much success, or have had success. And again, there's nothing that's absolute. That doesn't mean Richard Pitino won't. That doesn't mean anybody else won't. But when they're the right local person that get this place, they can turn things around. And what she's done and understanding the local and grasping the local and the whole We Are New Mexico thing, this is another example, isn't it?
Absolutely, and it's phenomenal to look at Heather's career, because she understands – being a high school player at El Dorado, she had the opportunity. She got offered a scholarship and went to Nebraska, and then transferred to Florida State. So that's where she played collegiately. So she understands the recruiting game as being a high-profile player in state. They maybe get an opportunity to do something else. So she's been in the shoes of the athletes that she's recruiting, but now what she's doing as well is laying a foundation and becoming a place that the top talent in this state wants to go to.
All right, let's listen to the conversation that JJ had after the match. This was Saturday night. Again, Jayden Edwards, who scored the golden goal, is going to be with us live at 9:30. But this is JJ's conversation with Lobo women's coach Heather Dyke after the victory, after the championship was won.
Heather, take us through that last just 15 minutes of real time, trying to reset after the Aztecs score with 4 seconds left.
I mean, to give up a goal with 4 seconds left is gut-wrenching. Like, there's not really another word for it. And I think when the players came off, you could kind of see, like, an emotional reaction. And I thought we could use that emotional reaction in our favor and just say, like, you've been tested. It's time to rise. And these kids, like, I mean, their motto this year is as one. And you see it. Like, they stay together always. And it's a character win. So that to me makes it even more special.
And you saw it in the first half. You knew San Diego State, the test they were going to present, they scored first. And then to go into half with the lead, what did that mean for your team?
Yeah, I thought the first 10 minutes, they had the better of it, probably 15 minutes. I think we just looked a little bit hesitant. And I told them at halftime, like, whatever we do, let's be all gas and no break. Like, let's go for it. And walk off the field just giving everything that we have. And I think you saw that.
And you've talked so much about the culture. Jayden was talking about it, and you saw it tonight. You rotated your team. You had no hesitation in the title game.
Yeah.
And how did that play out for you?
I mean, they're family. Like, they trust each other. I trust them. They have each other's backs. And I mean, there's some kids that didn't play as much tonight as they normally do, and they're still down there cheering and going nuts. And when they're called upon, they'll be ready too. Like, that's the way we do it here.
And you look at that final moment. You guys are so good on those second balls in the box. From your perspective, standing on the sideline, how did you see it play out when Edwards scored the game winner?
I honestly don't know if I remember all of it, but I just felt like if we brought the energy during overtime, we could shift the balance, you know. And I thought there was a few balls that went into the box after they almost got that, you know, that shot in the goal. But if it falls at Jayden's feet, it's going in. I mean, if it falls at Gwenny's feet, it's going in. And I think, like, Alicia and Maddie and everyone, like, they were just relentless tonight. So I thought we kind of wore them down a little bit, and that's when second balls pop out.
Yeah, and you've had so much support this week from the other programs on campus. The football team was in attendance tonight. Now, what did that mean for your squad?
I mean, I've never been a part of a game like this. Like, I've been lucky enough to coach at really big events, but to have New Mexico here supporting our team and the drums playing and the football team here and, I mean, all the other athletes here and people doing it on social media, like, it's just magical. We're indebted to them without question. We wouldn't have won that without people showing up here tonight.
Yeah, and it was from the unknown to one game away, this chance for your squad tonight. To be able to raise a championship trophy and have fans with everything that's happened after the last year, what does that feel like?
I'm not sure that it could be anything better. I mean, and especially, like, I say it all the time, but this group of women, they're just incredible. Like, they just, I don't know, off the field they're even better than they are on the field, and that makes it that much more special, and also the reason that you didn't want it to stop, you know. So now we got to get ready for North Carolina and go represent New Mexico.
NCAA tournament bound. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It doesn't stop. In fact, they move on now to the NCAA tournament. JJ, again, great job with that. You said this is one of the top 3 events that you've called. It wasn't the biggest crowd, but probably felt like one of the biggest because of what we've gone through, and none of us have seen crowds recently. How do you, when you describe the atmosphere, and for the people who were there, look, this is women's soccer in April. Everything's odd. It's collegiate women's soccer. It's not the Super Bowl, but for those young ladies, it was. The atmosphere that she talks about was tremendous. How do you, when you'll explain this here a year, 2 years, 10 years down the line, how will you explain that?
This is what the atmosphere is. You started to see the crossover, because a lot of times the Olympic sports are always so tight. It's friends and families, people that you know, in attendance. Maybe you get a little bit of that crossover, just the sport fan itself. But this was one of those games where just the sport fan was interested. It crossed over lines of just being a soccer fan or having some type of connection to the game, and to be able to sell out when you knew Saturday wasn't looking great, and it looked like most of the people that bought a ticket to the game still showed up. So the bleachers were packed, and then just Danny Gonzalez continuing to follow through, and having his football team out there, and the energy that they brought. And I think you could definitely see not just the fans, but and I know people weren't happy at the end of the game, but when the football players rushed the field, just that extra energy, the emotion of the moment, for the players was phenomenal, because when I was still buzzing when I got home. That was obviously would have been fun if the Lobos won in regular time and were Mountain West champions, but just going through that range of emotions, like I was just trying to wrap my head around like how someone handles that in real time, like how an athlete on the field responds when you're 4 seconds away from calling yourself a conference champion and the game is tied. Like I was just the range of emotions I went through calling that game. I couldn't believe what it would be like to actually be on that field, having to respond to it, and then to end in a sudden death golden goal situation. It was crazy. It was a lot of fun, and it goes back to what Heather talks about. Like they're good people. They're excellent athletes. Awesome to be around. The conversation, speaking with Jaden Edwards, I'm looking forward to talking with her again. Coming up at 9:30. They work hard. They're grateful. They embrace the moment, and they're fun to root for and be around all the time.
Yeah. How was it the most COVID safe practices, huh? After the game, the celebration.
Well, no, absolutely. But I think UNM is feeling a little bit okay because they had the players at least doing the swabs to be in the track position. That's where the football team was. So it was just the football team players down there with UNM staff at that moment in time. And just to wrap it up to your point of kind of like what it meant overall, because like I was still buzzing. I got home and I was just going through social media, watching the clips again, seeing the reaction, and there were a lot of people that I didn't know necessarily watch these games that were watching this game, and just from the social media reaction, from what they were saying. So it was a big moment for the Lobo fans on Saturday.
A lot of people watched it. All right, 246-0610. Jaden Edwards is going to join us, talk about the Golden Goal coming up at 9:30 this morning. We're going to get into what the Super League is. We got some hoops to get through. I got a bunch of emails that I got to get to as well. They're coming in. Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com or JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Ray Birmingham announces his retirement. Lobo baseball coach. I want your thoughts on that as well. It's the opening drive. We're on ProView Networks at 95 points.
Want to help schools reopen and keep the students, teachers, and staff safe. We can also help every business reopen and keep their employees and customers safe as well. Don't just disinfect. Novalent antimicrobial technology provides ongoing residual protection against bacteria and viruses and is proven to last up to 90 days. That's right, up to 90 days. Call us today at 505-507-7722 or go to DCESystemsInc.com to learn more. DCE Systems are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen? No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything.
Well, Maurice thinks it was home field advantage that gave the Lobos the victory, and if that's the case, they earned it. He says women's soccer can thank the New Mexico weather for that championship belt, Jeffy. It's hard to catch when you are cold and numb, and that goalie for the balmy SoCal Aztecs couldn't handle a couple of very easy balls. You think that's why? I thought she was a pretty good goaltender. Obviously, though, she gave up 2 second chances that Jaden Edwards capitalized both times, and that was the difference. I think that was because it was cold. She couldn't catch him.
No, because the game-winning goal was across. It wasn't at her. She was diving to deflect it away. So how is she who's catching that? No one's catching that. That was just the keeper.
First one.
The first one. Yeah, it was. She didn't judge it well at all.
She misplayed it. Yeah.
That was a mistake by Medina, who was so good in that first half. Her aggressiveness for a freshman, the big plays that she made, and that was Cammie Floth that scored the first one. Edwards' first goal was just a great play. Alicia Garcia racing down, cross comes across, slides it in. But yeah, catching wasn't an issue for the game-winning goal. It was just the keeper making a deflection that bounced right to Edwards, who did a good job staying over the top of the ball, because that's an easy one to send into the stands.
Rudy was up on his slope side condo, if you recall, as he gave you Friday his travel plans. Rudy, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. How was the slope side condo?
Well, it actually snowed 3 inches Saturday while we were skiing, so
sweet.
We finished the day on fresh powder, which is kind of incredible for the last day of the season.
Yeah.
So we go back to the condo and we make dinner, and all my buddies graduated from UNM, and so I try to get the game from my connected device, my iPhone, to the TV, and it didn't work. So they turned on Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby, and I'm keeping them informed on the game. And one of my buddies who isn't into soccer, I said, there's 30 seconds left. New Mexico's, UNM's up by 2-1. And he goes, oh, they got it. And I'm like, don't say that. And, of course, 24 seconds later, San Diego State ties the game. And I don't know if it's a hex. I don't know if it's just the way it works, but we blamed Eric for that goal. So everybody out there in Lobo Land, you can blame Eric Collins for that goal. But what I thought was incredible is how they bounced back. I really actually thought after that goal UNM wasn't going to win. But 4 minutes later, boom, there it is, right? And I'm really happy. I've gotten to know Heather. She's a really wonderful person, and she knew my friends, Bilbert and Mindy, who were both into soccer and coached soccer at El Dorado. So that was a really kind of a full circle thing for me, and it was pretty emotional. So congratulations to the women's team, and they really carried the banner high. But having all the teams out there supporting each other is what it's all about.
Should be. Yep, it should be.
That makes a huge difference, and we didn't have that, and that was fractured, and I'm glad it's fixed. I'll tell you my quick story about Ray Birmingham. I met Ray years ago when he was still coaching New Mexico Junior College, and he was out there at the state baseball tournament scouting AA baseball in New Mexico. That's how committed he was to New Mexicans and finding those kids that could play at the next level. So when he put his name in, I called Paul Krebs, and I got on the phone until I talked to him personally and said, if you don't hire him, at least give him a chance. Well, Ray went in. He was prepared. He did a good job on the interview, and he got the job. And, 406 wins later, he's hanging it up. So congratulations to Coach Birmingham, and I wish him well in his future.
It took a lot of coercing by a lot of people, for Paul to just give him an interview. I think Paul wanted to go a different way. Wasn't going to give a junior college coach from New Mexico a chance, and I'm glad that he was coerced by enough people to give him that interview.
Yeah, well, Ray did it right. He marshaled the people that supported him, that knew him, and he walked in with a binder, and here's my plan, and here's how I'm going to get UNM competitive in baseball and to Omaha. Now, Ray never met his dream of getting the team to Omaha, but it's up to the next person that who gets their hand at this wheel to take that team to Omaha, and it can be done. We have the facilities now. We have a beautiful baseball park. It's really second to none in the conference. So he did a lot of hard work for this school, and I wish him the best in the future.
Right on, Rudy. All right, thanks for the call, man.
Yeah.
See, when your buddy pops the cork early, JJ, you don't forget it.
Oh, Eric.
So 86, Red Sox Angels. That was the Donnie Moore game, and one of the most tragic stories. Donnie Moore, the Angel pitcher who committed suicide. Angels were one strike away from going to their first World Series, and the Red Sox. Dave Henderson was at bat. That was that Red Sox team that went on to the World Series against the Mets and the Mookie Wilson game and Bill Buckner game. It was at Anaheim Stadium. I want to say it was Game 6. It wasn't Game 7 because they went back and lost Game 7 at Fenway. But Angels were one strike away, and there were a bunch of Angel fans. And I was watching it down in San Diego. And this is kind of what I was just telling you, right? You're ready to celebrate, and Ira popped the cork. Ira popped the cork on a champagne bottle. Who it was Ira? It doesn't matter. Ira popped the cork. And everybody in our room just kind of went, whoa, kind of looked at him. What are you doing? And he's like, oh, we're gonna. And Dave Henderson hits one over the center field wall. Angels lose. Ira, I don't know what he did with his champagne. I think he drank his own champagne by himself. And the Angels did not go to the World Series. The Red Sox did. And that's all because of Ira. And everybody's got one of those stories somewhere along the line. You do not celebrate until it's over. I remember, we've sat here. The Kings were going to win the Stanley Cup. And I'm like, just ready to jump up and down. I'm like, this is cool. This is cool. This is cool. The Kings won the Stanley Cup. You just don't celebrate till it's over, JJ.
Until that clock hits triple zeros, anything can happen.
San Diego State scores with 4 seconds to go to tie up a match in it, not a championship match, but a final. Whatever. And yeah. All right, I got a bunch of So Bobcat, how was the weekend? I got a bunch of Bobcat emails that I got to get to. Good weekend for you?
Well, yeah, it was a good weekend. Yeah, we went into it again about me working here.
You and Eric?
No, the Viper Pit.
Okay, how'd that go?
Let's just say they're called the Viper Pit for a reason.
They don't approve of you working and making yourself better and earning a couple more dollars for yourself and making your family better. They don't approve of that?
They're thinking you're trying to steal me away from them.
Yeah, all right. Well, maybe they're right.
Don't give them water.
Gopher calls you sports cat. He says, Jeff, a nervous member of the Viper Pit, coined this phrase over the weekend. Unless someone claims it, I'm stealing it. It's from Gopher. Called you sports cat. All right.
I'm in one of those positions over there where I hear the show, but I don't get to listen to it because I'm so busy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, understood.
So
you got to
totally missed that.
Yeah, you got to eat your blueberry pancake and the burritos that George brings over. You're very, very busy over there.
That only takes a few seconds.
Yeah, that gets busy. Ren says Bobcat equals Franchione, question mark. Jeff, if you remember, there were rumors that moving trucks were already at Dennis Franchione's home before an official announcement he was leaving was ever made. If we see moving trucks back up to the house and boxes labeled Bobcat carried out, will that be the telltale sign that the OD has a new permanent producer? It's from Ren. Well, I guess if they're moving all your crap out of their studio, moving it down to ours.
Wouldn't take a minute.
Why can't people accept that maybe you're doing both for now?
Well, I think they're just having fun with us all.
Okay.
It is kind of a fun topic. Yeah.
They don't call them the Viper Pit for no reason now. I'm just saying.
It.
Oh, wait, that's what you just said to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so what are you? You're on the schedule for this week? Who knows what's next week holds? All week, Robert Cat. All right.
I'm looking at the schedule right now.
I think what you should do, this might be your new, and it would help us all out. It'd be JJ. This could be universally beneficial. If he goes to the boss and says, Mr. Boss Man, I mean, I enjoy this, but you're not feeding me. I mean, how, Eric, we get fed on Eric's show, and we need that breakfast buffet, and Jeff and JJ are hungry too. if we ever get back in there and get fed. That might be your chip right now, because I'm not sure he's got a lot of places to go. Just saying.
Never back the boss into a corner. I have learned.
Never?
That. Never.
Okay.
No.
All right. JJ.
And the food was arranged long before I got there with Eric. It's one of Eric's deals.
Yeah, no, I understand. Well understood. And
thank
again,
goodness.
it's easier to do it twice a week than it is 5 times a week.
Yeah.
I did. What was it, JJ? When UTEP was in the New Mexico Bowl, so that's it feels like forever ago, 4 or 5 years ago. Went down there and I did the show from the radio stations in El Paso, and they've got a deal. I remember I told you, I said I'm grubbing. They got breakfast tacos. They told me take 2, take 3. I'm like, I felt bad taking 1. They worked out a deal there where their local taco shop was bringing them breakfast tacos every morning for their people who work. Aaron's going, huh? Now that I'm watching Aaron, it used to be, how come Aaron's able to do it by himself? And when it was J. Pole and Josh, they needed 2 dudes. But they were always eating on the ProView side, right? Now they figured out it only takes 1 guy to do this?
Well, I'm just worth 2 guys.
Oh, that's right, because you're a Dodger fan. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you want the job done right, get 1 Dodger fan instead of like a Charger fan and a Bronco fan. No, it makes total sense to me. All right, 505 science. 505-246-0610. I'll get you some more emails when we come back. JJ, when we come back, you want to explain what Super League means to the world?
I can try.
All right, because I'm not sure they know, but boy, it's a super announcement on the worldwide sports scene. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Bobcat, and Aaron on 95.9 FM at AM 670 Sports Animal.
This report is brought to you by John Thomas Jewelers.
Real engagement is more than just popping the question.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog! Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A rogue virus. No jobs. Sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico.
Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer 0 for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Like 21-ish years ago, there was a big announcement around here, and UNM was part of it. And there were eight schools who announced that they were leaving the Mountain West leaving the WAC and forming this new league. It was the Mountain West Conference. It was BYU in Utah, in New Mexico, and Colorado State, and Wyoming and Air Force, and San Diego State, and UNLV, I believe, were the original. And it sent shockwaves through this region, but certainly not as big as what's going on here, although this isn't horribly dissimilar, other than these are some of the biggest names in the world of sport, not New Mexico and San Diego State and UNLV. But the brands are AC Milan and Arsenal and Liverpool and Man City and Man United and Tottenham. And JJ's just some of the biggest names in international soccer. And they're talking about a super league and going out on their own. And it's ruffling a lot of feathers, but there's going to be a ton of money involved in this for the teams who are going to go do this.
And that is what they are selling, is a bigger jump in revenue for the squads. And the thing about international soccer or soccer overseas is they have club competitions where they compete against the best from other leagues. And Champions League is one of my favorite tournaments. You get the best teams from each league facing off against each other. And in a tournament atmosphere that extends over a few months, it's fantastic seeing teams deal with domestic competition, the cup play, and then Champions League play. Well, this is a situation where the teams that they feel that they are the most powerful and deserve the most money are kind of saying, you know what, we don't want to mess with any of this. We're still going to play in our domestic leagues, wherever that may be, but we're going to create a competition just amongst ourselves. And as of now, 12 teams have actually committed to this plan. It looks like they're going to try to get 15 set teams and then leave the door open for 5 that can join them each year. where they're just going to go play their own tournament and try to make a ton of money.
There's about $4.2 billion in money up front for these teams to go do it, and therein lies the big reason. And I know a lot of people, especially the ones who were left out, sure as hell don't like this.
And I don't like it at all for the sport, because if you get to the end, you get to the semifinals, the finals, and all right, it's Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, so be it. But along the way, you get group stage games. You get a team from Turkey. Like, who are these guys? Well, they won their league last year, and they get a chance to play in the Champions League and potentially go on a run. And it's part of the beauty of the sport, but this is absolutely big business taking over and creating a dramatic change, which has sent ripple effects through the soccer world and a lot of unhappy fans of even some of the biggest clubs, especially in England. You think, these are diehards. There's no way that you're not going to support Liverpool. There's no way you're not going to support Man United. And there's been a tremendous pushback on this when it was announced over the weekend.
All right, 505-246-0610 if you want to get in on that. Fred, welcome to the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Fred.
Hey, how's it going, Jeff? Hey,
Good,
I just wanted to say a few things about ladies soccer and also about Ray, of course. And the thing is with soccer, it was amazing that, first of all, it was sold out. I mean, when I say sold out, they'd only sell 1,500 tickets, but man, it's pretty cool to sell 1,500 tickets to Lady Lobo soccer. But the way the game started out is I was on my computer, and I don't ever sit down and watch soccer, I mean, for the whole time. But, JJ, they did such a great job, and the team did such a great job. I was glued to my computer. I can't believe that I never left for a minute. It was just so exciting. The girls are so tough. Losing Gwen Maley right away for probably, I don't know how long, but like maybe 30 minutes. I thought we were really in trouble, and like everybody did, they were so physical. They were so fast. They were just so good the first 20 minutes. San Diego State, I don't know how we were going to be able to beat this team. And then it might have been the altitude. That might have had something to do with it. But these girls, they didn't care if they got banged around, and they did. There's some dirty stuff going on. San Diego State, they're really shoving them good, but they took the punishment. They just played so great. It was just so neat to see that, and then to see the football team, which you guys have talked about. Was that really cool? Really cool seeing the football team there, but I'll tell you what, it's nice to have the goalie. I think it's Johnson, Emily Johnson. It's nice to see a 5'10" girl play goalie, because a couple times, man, she needed that extra inches to win the ball game. But anyway, I wanted to congratulate them, and also, it's kind of neat that, first of all, we started about a couple months ago. We won the cross country championship for the Mountain West. Then we win the basketball. Now we win the soccer, and who knows, maybe golf. Golf always is right up there, so maybe even golf. But the women's sports have done really great for the Lobos. And then I wanted to go to Ray, though. I'm going to miss that guy. I mean, for what he did, I know you have somebody, I always forget who it is, that is so negative about Birmingham.
Gene.
But the thing is, what's his name?
Gene.
Yeah, Gene, yeah. And the thing is, he's led them to 5 NCAA regional appearances, 4 Mountain West regular season championships, 3 conference tournaments. And the last time we ever went to the NCAA was, I think it was Bob Lee. I still remember Bob Lee in '62. That's the last time. So I'm going to miss Ray. He's done so much for the Lobos, building that clubhouse, getting the stadium. The stadium looks so much nicer now that we have 3,000 seats. He's done all this work. The only thing he didn't get done, and too bad that he didn't get it done, he wanted to get that press box done. But I think what he's had to go through this year, and having to not being able to play the last 6 games, and then now maybe this weekend Vegas might not be able to play them either because they have COVID. I think it just took a toll on Ray, but I'm going to miss the guy, and hopefully we can get a really great baseball coach that really loves local people like our soccer team does and the baseball team does, and even Gonzalez does. I mean, I'm not saying to take a lot of local people, but at least look at the local players here in town. So anyway, that's all, guys. Good job, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you, Fred. A lot there. The only thing I thought San Diego State was physical. Did you think they were dirty?
I didn't think they were dirty because I think
either.
The game, it was a physical game, and the ref set the tone early, and he let certain things go, but you adjust to that, 20, 30 minutes in, all right, this is the way it's going to be, and you respond to how the game's going to play out.
Yeah, I thought that it was physical, and, it's unfortunate when bodies collide sometimes and somebody goes down in a heap, but I didn't see nor did I hear anybody complaining that anything was dirty. But I'm glad Fred was watching, and a lot of people were, JJ. You got a lot of response on that, and I think even if the weather wasn't what it was, people would have been. I mean, Rudy was watching up in in his slope side condo.
Fresh pow,
fresh pow, brah. That's right. With Ricky Bobby on. Sounds like a rager, and the big game on the phone. It's been a heck of a women's sports season over there with your cross country team, your women's basketball team, and now your women's soccer team claiming Mountain West Conference championships. It's a nice run and a testament to what's being done over there. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. I got emails on Ray. Ray Birmingham announces his retirement. You can get in on that. I'll get you some emails when we get back. 9:30 this morning, Jaden Edwards is going to be with us. She of the Golden Goal that put the Lobos into the NCAA championship. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Next in line. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
At New Mexico Highlands University, you're more than a student, you're family. Whether you're taking courses in Las Vegas, Santa Fe, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, or Farmington, you'll get that one-on-one attention to inspire you to reach your goals. Let New Mexico Highlands help take your passion and accelerate it into a career and fulfilling life path. Find out why New Mexico Highlands is the right choice for you. Log on to newmexicohighlands.com today.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I've ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Plan your adventure at WNMU.edu.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Hayes. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Greg Martinez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Hi, I'm Marilena Fernandez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
The New Mexico Army National Guard is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Micah. Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk Live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talk It Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Play, top of the 18. Morgan's there, one-on-one with the keeper, and that opens the scoring. Rachel Morgan, the senior, finds the back of the net, and it's 1-0 St. Mike's.
Oliveris for 3. Yes.
Well, I like that young man.
Good transition opportunity for the Bulldogs. Deep three's up, and it's good by number 11, Annika Reed.
Rowe gets it, boots it forward. Myers is there. She's able to head it, but and she controls. Dugan's there. She's at the center. She gets across, shoots, and scores! Hello! What can you say there? Hello! And that is Alexa Duggan, who goes across the body.
Fair. Gonzalez going to get all the way to the basket here off the window with the extra kiss, and it's good for Gonzalez.
That ball played to the top of the 18. Morgan. Nice turn. Morgan, left-footed shot. Morgan! 3-0. And that is a brace for Rachel Morgan, the senior from St. Michael's.
Deutsch sent me a note. It says, sink, sink, sink. Jeff, I know you have a weakness for middle-aged, balding white guys. Balding? The balding about him. My man's bald. He done went bald. Stuart Sink's playing some golf at 48 years old, won the RBC at Hilton Head. He's won twice on tour this year. 48-year-old guy making. Let's see. Well, Tiger can do it then too, right? Oh wait.
Tiger can do it. He's got some work to do, obviously.
We don't know if Tiger
Hilton,
can walk.
Yeah, he's got a long road ahead to rehab. Yeah, Stuart Sink, how about that's something that hasn't been done in quite some time for what he's doing on the PGA Tour.
And he was running away from the field. I mean, he distanced himself pretty nicely this weekend, and it was a good field too. It's not like it was just a bunch of guys for week after a major that didn't play. It was a good field, and he ran himself away, and got things done this weekend. So, all right, 505-246-0610, 8889-220-0610. He won by 4 strokes, 19 under, beat Harold Varner, Emiliano Grillo. Were 4 strokes back. Maverick McNeely, Corey Connors, Fitzpatrick, Morikawa. I mean, the field, it wasn't every name, but it was all. I mean, you look down there, there's your Dustin Johnsons and your Morikawas, and your big names are there. So he went out, and 19 under was a number. Tommy, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. How you living, Tommy?
Not too bad, guys. Tom and the Truth back at you. Want to get an opinion about this weekend. I guess they want to call it a fight. I thought Snoop Dogg was entertaining, but then Mr. Bing looked like a lawnmower man. He looked out of shape. He looked like he took a dive and I'm just being honest. He didn't look like he could box at all. More of a UFC guy, of course, but I didn't think that fight was entertaining in the league. And they keep on saying that this Logan Paul made history that night. No, all you made that night is you made money. If you want to box somebody, at least box Mike Tyson, Holyfield, someone like that. I want to see him get in the ring with a real boxer, just to see what would happen. But I didn't think that fight was entertaining at all. And I still believe that Ben just walked in there, got a paycheck, and I don't even think he looked like he got hit that hard, and he just went down the first round. I thought it was, like I said, Snoop Dogg, the other stuff they had there was pretty cool, but that guy didn't show me nothing that he's a real boxer. That's just me. I don't know if you guys were entertained by it at all.
Who's gonna have to fight?
Who's tuning into that thinking it's real boxing?
Right.
You got a grappler who was kind of booed out of mixed martial arts because he was so boring against a YouTube star, and that's what it is. It's Snoop Dogg selling you things. It's people tuning in for the spectacle. That ain't real boxing.
Yeah.
Well, Logan Paul thinks it's real boxing. His brother thinks it's real boxing. They talk about it all the time, constantly on YouTube, that they are real boxers.
Okay.
All the time. It's constant.
Yeah. Well,
you knocked out Nate Robinson, bro.
I think the fight would sell if he was Mike Tyson. I definitely think that fight would sell, and I would pay to see that because I think Tyson would kill him if it's a real boxing match.
I guess is it okay to say I just don't care? like honestly, nothing against. I mean, Tommy, I get it and I saw it, and I guess I saw it and just went, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I did too. It's like it's not even entertaining. I don't think the only people that are watching it are millennials that have nothing better to watch. But it wasn't even entertaining. One round, and he just goes down. I mean, he looks like he took a dive. That punch didn't even look that hard. And at least if they're going to do the celebrity boxing, make it real. Make it to where it looks it looks like a real fight.
But just understand what it is. Just take it with a grain of salt and understand what it is and what it is you're tuning into.
Well, it wasn't entertaining though. That's the thing. It's supposed to be entertainment, correct? It wasn't entertaining.
Yeah.
It was boring. I'd rather see celebrities box each other, like celebrity against a celebrity. It wasn't entertaining though.
Me too. All right, sorry you were disappointed, Tommy.
And also, one more thing, Cowboys, TS2, that's all I got to say about draft day. Patrick Surtain, too. Just do it, please.
If he's there. All right, man. Be well.
Yep.
If Patrick Surtain's there at 10, then I think that's where they go. I saw that. I just wasn't even a blip for me. I just don't care. Doesn't mean it. You shouldn't.
And Tommy answered his own question.
Well, he did.
Logan Paul, Jake Paul, they can talk about boxing all they want. They're not going to step in the ring with a real fighter because that means there's going to be damage done. Knocking out Nate Robinson and then Ben Askren doesn't prove anything to anyone that you're a boxer. Like, what do you expect? And you tune in for an event like this for the spectacle, not to be like, oh, I'm going to see real boxing. Ben Askren, who never threw a punch in the UFC, is all of a sudden going to step in the ring and provide a good boxing match? No. Like, we get it. We see what it is. It's for the money. No question. That's what it's all about.
All right. Yes, take it for what it is. Understand what it is you're tuning into, and it sometimes entertainment isn't entertaining. I mean, get an HBO subscription, Netflix. I mean, honestly, I'm sorry that's what you were relegated to for your entertainment this weekend. There were decent options.
And I knew there's zero chance that those people are getting my money, but I'll watch that 20-second clip on social media, and it will tell me the whole story.
Yeah, no, that's plenty. It's plenty. Lars is in. He said, way too cold, Jeffy. I looked at the thermometer thingy on the wall, and it was 48 degrees half an hour before post time Saturday night. When you throw in the New Mexico winds, I doubt nothing in the universe makes it feel colder. We got a harsh reminder why we normally don't have soccer season around here in April. You know what, though? Could have been played tonight, and it would be
The weather has been nicer than it has in the fall a lot of the times because that is a fall sport.
Yeah.
If it wasn't snowing, I've been at those games before.
Well, this would have been a November game, right? I mean, it would have been cold. This would have been typical. typically in November. And, I mean, I don't know. It's like you go out to high school football games in November, they're cold, man. Hey, look, we live in a high desert at 5,000 feet. Weather's, you're right. Why we don't play soccer this time of year, I don't know.
If you would have played it last Saturday,
it would have been pretty nice.
Bit of a problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crapshoot, Lars. It is. And the beauty is you get to sit there like Rudy by the campfire with your buddies watching Ricky Bobby and watch it on your phone and listen to the dulcet tones of JJ Buck call Lobo Women's Soccer. See? Thanks to the beautiful technology of Mr. Alexander Graham Bell, or I guess it's more than Alexander Graham Bell. All right, 246-0610. When we come back at 9:30, 9:30, Jane Edwards is going to be with us. She, the author of The Golden Goal. The goal that sent the Lobos to the NCAA tournament. Talk to her, how she feels a couple days later. Has her phone stopped buzzing yet? Is everybody she knows? That should have been a highlight, huh? SportsCenter highlight? Well, if SportsCenter was going to take, what would they take it, the 4-second goal or that one? Probably the 4 seconds, huh?
Oof, that's a good question.
Yeah. A lot of action down that side of the field. 505-246-0610. Come on in, another hour of frivolity with us here on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Underneath for Alter, tries the slam and does it. So in two.
Here comes the pressure. Hasbury takes it away and sends it in.
There's a top 10 play right there, I can tell you that.
The last-ditch effort for the Wildcats. They are cornered right now. That ball goal! It's the long goal from Contreras! Holy cow! Luke Contreras absolutely launched that ball. Contreras. And Kumar takes the shot, and that is it. We didn't make it an entire minute into this overtime before Oliver Kumar delivered the winning score. Look at those boys celebrate down there, dogpiling on top of number 6.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
DCE Systems want to help schools reopen and keep the students, teachers, and staff safe. We can also help every business reopen and keep their employees and customers safe as well. Don't just disinfect. Novalent antimicrobial technology provides ongoing residual protection against bacteria and viruses and is proven to last up to 90 days. That's right, up to 90 days. Call us today at 505-507-7722 or go to DCESystemsInc.com to learn more. DCE Systems are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by
what's the right way? Better's not the right way. Which Jaden had a better year, Jaden De La Cerda or Jaden Edwards? Jaden De La Cerda, of course, the New Mexico product, who helped the Lobo women's basketball team win a conference championship and is coming back for her super senior year, or Jaden Edwards, the junior who had 2 goals in the Mountain West. I'm calling it championship. I don't give a damn. Championship game. And have the golden goal and is going to be with us at 9:30. JJ, you call both teams' games on the Lobo Mountain West network. Which Jaden had a better year?
My goodness, can I give him all first team Jadens?
Co-Jadens of the year?
Co-Jaden of the year, because that's a Mountain West thing to do as well in this situation. So I'm absolutely going co-Jadens of the year. And
that seems like a cop-out.
Yeah, I'm going to take the cop-out, but it's worth it because stepping up at the biggest time, Edwards dropping the brace on him, and then De La Cerda all season long stepping up for UNM women's basketball.
Well, Jaden Edwards was terrific. She, the junior from Mill Creek, Washington, Jackson High School. And she was terrific. I'm looking forward to her being with us coming up at the bottom of the hour. 505-246-0610 is how to find us. 888-922-0610. It is the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal. Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck. Aaron is producing on ProView Networks. A little glitch right there. It woke you up for a second, didn't it? Yeah, lean forward and put down your phone for a quick second, That's why it takes 2 people to run this. If there were 2 guys, that wouldn't have happened. Bobcat is running it on the radio side, and he will take your phone calls at 246-0610. I got this email that came in this morning from John on Ray Birmingham, and if you haven't heard, Ray Birmingham announced last night, going to do a press conference at noon today out at Santa Ana Star Field, that the baseball coach is retiring at UNM. John says, I was shocked upon hearing his decision to retire. For some reason, I thought he'd be here forever. After meeting him and seeing energy and enthusiasm for New Mexico, Coach B will always be one of the best hires ever at UNM. I sincerely wish him the best and truly thought if anyone could have gotten us to Omaha, it would have been him. Best wishes, Coach. They still have this season, right? They can still get to Omaha? Or can they play enough games now to get to Omaha?
I think now it comes down to conference tournament.
Is there a conference tournament, or they played a 36-game season, right? I'm not sure they have a conference tournament. Yeah, I don't know that they do.
Okay.
Look, Ray, if Ray doesn't get to Omaha, Gene, you're right. He talked about it and didn't get there, and you're right. I don't think anybody. And Gene's other argument is that they moved out of the what he calls the sports stadium, the Isotopes Park, and they had a great facility, and somehow that was doing great for them. First of all, now that the soccer's in there too, forget it. I mean, just now, what would you have done? What would you have done now? Imagine that. Imagine Lobo baseball trying to go in there with United and with Isotopes. You thought you didn't get to practice and use locker rooms then, so they're not better off then than they were now. To me, it is inarguable that the program's in a better place now. And I thought Rich Alday was a good coach and even better human being. And he passed away recently, the former coach. But what Ray's done with the profile of the program, winning a couple, 4 conference championships, going to the NCAA regionals 5 times. Yeah, he didn't get to Omaha. But how can you sit here and even look at it objectively and tell me that the program is in a better place now than when he took it?
I'm going to listen to the folks that say it is, because I don't necessarily know what it was like exactly, 14 years ago when he took over the program. But when you look at his record versus what he's done for his student athletes, to improve the field, to improve the clubhouse, lay the foundation for what's going to come after him. And then, yes, with the New Mexico pride, everything that he preaches that the fans absolutely love to hear and buy into. And by the way, you're getting the student athletes to buy into it. I think the program's in a pretty good spot and going in a good direction.
I think it's inarguable. And I think that you'll miss Ray. And whoever comes in. Now, what do you do here at hire? Right? This is a good job. This is a really good job. You're Eddie, you're looking for a baseball coach. You just hired a football coach. You just hired a basketball coach. This is a pretty good job and a program. It's nationwide, right? What are you looking at? You've had some success with Danny with local ties. You went and hired Richard Pitino, who didn't. You just watched Heather win a championship, local ties, but you watched Bradbury win and he didn't, right? I don't know that there's an absolute formula in this. But what are you looking for? You're just looking for the best fit, obviously, but whatever that means. And you've got a little time here. And you probably wait until the season's over and see what's out there, right? But I'm guaranteeing you that the phone's been ringing since yesterday with people who want this job.
You go about the process the same way you did the last two hires you made. You have all right, these are I classify them as, close to the program people, maybe alumni or have a tie. So you put those resumes down, and then you dip into, I don't know, maybe there's someone from LSU that deserves an opportunity, or an SEC program, or somewhere in Texas that's popping, and you put it on the board and you start rolling through your interviews.
You know what's going to be really interesting, and I look at some of these programs. There's support for UNM athletics, but then there's the private support. Each coach has to go out and fundraise. There's a really, really good groundswell of support in the golf community for Glenn Milliken and for women's golf. But for men's golf, there is a really strong statewide support, and this is financial for what Ray's done. JJ, have you ever been to that banquet that he's done annually in January, the first pitch banquet, where he's had Tim Kirkjian in the last couple of years? I believe Alex spoke one year. Alex Bregman did. Mitch Garver was back. Have you ever been to that event?
I know the event. I have never been to the event.
All right, I've been to it the last bunch of years, and the room is full, and they sell it out. And Ray has done an insanely good job of local support. And we're going to find out, and this is not an indictment on anybody. I just wonder how much of the support was for local baseball, and I think a lot of it is, and how much of it is because Ray has garnered that. Whoever goes in and takes this, one of the reasons that they've had success is fundraising. And obviously, you saw the new clubhouse got built, and it's got the Hubbard's name on it. But D. Dennis has been big in baseball. There's been a lot of baseball supporters, and Ray has cultivated that, and that's been statewide. This has gone all the way down. Ray spent a lot of time in Hobbs, and this has been all over the state. Whoever comes in has got a really, really, really big pair of shoes to fill in regards to that statewide support and keeping that going.
That's probably going to be tougher than putting a quality baseball team together. It's going to be easier. It's for the new coach.
Oh, tougher than yes. So
it's when you're talking just talent, student athletes, all that stuff. Yeah, coach, do your job. But in the fundraising, keeping those relationships, absolutely, you're going to see some people. I would say take a step back. Go. I'm going to wait and see what this dude's all about.
It's important for football and basketball, but not as important as it is for the Olympic sports. The first team for football, the sixth-man group for men's basketball, it's important, but they're funded pretty well, relatively. for baseball, for golf, for those sports. And again, I know a lot of the people who have contributed both to Glenn and what Glenn Milliken's done in men's golf, and there's been a lot of success there. A lot of success. In fact, Catlin won over the weekend. The former Lobo won on the European Tour this weekend. John Catlin. I think it was his third victory overseas. And then baseball. And a lot of private money. And it's going to be interesting because, to your point, and I think you're right, it's going to be easier to put a quality baseball team together than for somebody brand new to come in and recultivate all of that support that Ray has built over 14 years at UNM plus all those years at the state. He's going to be missed, but don't underestimate how valuable that piece of it was to what he did. 505-246-0610. We're going to talk some baseball when we get back. I've got Isotope's email. We'll talk and I want to get into the hoops over the weekend too. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Jaden Edwards will join us at the bottom of the hour on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened?
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer 0 for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from YAFL to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices and
So Red Birmingham will meet media today, noon at the Santa Ana Star Field. Lobo baseball coach Lobo baseball coach has announced his retirement. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck, Aaron, making magic happen all by himself. Just one dude. Just take Alden and J. Pole and Josh, at least 2, sometimes 3, to sit around and eat.
Well, someone had to bring breakfast, so they had it worked out.
They don't even bring you breakfast, bro? Nothing? You get nothing. You got to bring like your own little Snickers bar.
No, they're actually grabbing breakfast right now.
Yeah, as they should.
They
you got to be
listening.
hungry by now.
They heard
Bobcat gets nothing. I know, they should. All right, Francisco, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. What's up?
Good morning, gentlemen. I just wanted to comment on Ray Birmingham and everything that he's done for the program, where he's brought it to from where he started. I mean, what can you say about that? The next guy that comes in will have everything that he built. So
correct.
Doing that is not easy. Finding donors, finding people to believe in you. I mean, for the most part, he had a really competitive team. He put a lot of guys in the pros. I think he put Lobo baseball on the map. We're on the map now. Now we just need to move forward. And he's a big part of that. And I mean, the difficulties he went through with the killing of one of his players. I mean, you can't not. I mean, what do you say about that? You know, he handled it with class. You have no idea what went on behind the scenes and everything. So I wish him well. Thank you so much, Coach. We're better off to have him, that's for sure. And I think UNM right now is entering with great momentum on all sports. I feel great about Gonzalez. I think I was worried that Rocky would overshadow him, but no, that has not even happened closely. This guy is his own man. He's shown it. Patino, same thing. He handled his press conference great. They asked him about his dad. He's his own man, so I'm feeling great about these coaches. I think UNM is we're going to be winning a lot of games, and we're headed up, man. And it's a great thing because we've been through a lot. Everybody in New Mexico, the world with COVID, and UNM, losing sports and losing players and losing coaches, and so it's a good thing. We've got momentum. Let's support our teams, and let's see where we can go, man.
All right, it's good stuff, Francisco.
Take care.
Thank you. He says, what can you say? You say you did a heck of a job. 14 years. You put him on the map? Yeah, I kind of did. You did. It's interesting. He talks about Danny, and he thought Rocky was going to overshadow him. Do you remember the conversation? And JJ, I remember right when Danny got the job. Remember he was in studio. This is back before we were doing it at home. Remember he came in the next day, and he spent an hour with us. And I don't know if he said it on the air, but I think it was off the air. We were walking up front, and he told me, he's putting the full court press on Rocky. And in fact, I think it was off the air. He said to me, and I don't think I'm betraying any trust. He said, I'm going after putting the full court press on him. And it's when I really got the feeling that Rocky was going to become the defensive coordinator here. And Rocky said, this is yours. There was that fear that if Rocky came in, to Francisco's point, somehow he would overshadow him. And Danny said, Coach, I appreciate that, but let me make this choice. Let me make this decision. And if there's anybody who could be as high profile as Rocky Long is, but yet completely step back, it's Rocky Long, right? And you say, well, how profile is the guy? I don't know. He's the winningest coach in the history of this league. He's the winningest coach in the history of this institution in football, right? Take the guy who's won more games in this league and more games at this school. And by the way, was coming off a successful run where he had 10 straight bowl games at San Diego State, but walked away on his own accord, came back, and he's been as low profile as he possibly can because he wants this young man and Danny Gonzalez to be the guy and to thrive and to grow into his own. He's there if you need him. It takes a special personality now. There's not a lot of people like Rocky that in some respects he's there, but you kind of forget he's there because what was the last Rocky Long interview you saw? He's not looking to do them. Like, I don't call Rocky and say, you want to come on, because I know he really wants this to be Danny's show, not about Rocky Long. There's not a lot of people that could do that would be in that profile.
Yeah, and that's, I think, the big thing is he's fine with that. Like, he doesn't
That's what he wants.
want to talk to anyone anymore. He wants Danny to deal with the pressure, deal with all that stuff, and say, "Ha, I did it for X amount of years, and now that's all on you. You have fun figuring this out." And I think there was one time last year that Rocky actually met with the media on one of the Zoom calls, and other than that, he's just doing his thing, just DC, coaching him up, and Danny's the head coach, and he's followed through on that. And I didn't think, to your point, I can see the perception of it, but even though I don't know Rocky intimately like a lot of other people do around here that have just been covering him forever, but you knew immediately, like, this wasn't going to be an issue. Like, Rocky Long's not going to get in the way. He's not going to be seeking the attention. Like, this was going to work.
Yeah, if there was anybody with whom it was going to work, it was him. And by the way, this is what he wanted. Like, if he wanted the media attention, and that's what Rocky never wanted, he'd have stayed where he was. He was having success living in San Diego, coaching San Diego State, making good money, and running a good program. And by the way, headed into a brand new stadium here in a year, right? I mean, he could have rode that thing out. And I know J.D. Wicker, the athletic director, was hoping that Rocky was going to get them into that new stadium. He was hoping that there'd be 1 year of Rocky in that new stadium. But that's exactly the personality of that man. And if there's anybody who says, bleep it, I'm going to do it my way. Like, we all wish we could be Rocky Long in that respect, don't we? He's going to do it on his terms. And
yep.
I mean, just bleep it. So, but to his point on Ray, he kind of puts you on the map. We had a conversation on Friday with Warren Schaefer, the Isotopes manager. Remember that?
I do.
I got an email on that. It's from Gus, and it says, Jeff, in July in Vegas. He says, Jeff, I like the interview with the new coach of the Albuquerque's baseball team late Friday. He actually used that awful W word, something the prior manager got upset whenever asked about. That's winning. With that said, the interview was Jeff in Vegas in July, when everybody has a great recruiting class. All staffs are awesome. Everyone thinks they're improved. Let's see what happens when ABT is playing on a Tuesday night in Salt Lake City at the end of a 9-game and 10-day roadie. Okay. But I mean, he didn't even know what his roster is completely. But yeah, that's what that was. That's what they all are. What's he going to tell you? Like, honestly, other than, I mean, do you want him to say, yeah, we're brutal? We're not very good.
Have you seen the Rockies organization?
We're worse than they are. Rockies lost 2 out of 3 to the Mets over the weekend. Did DeGrom strike out the entire 9 guys in a row? Went through the entire, 9 guys in a row yesterday, right? He struck out the entire lineup in a row. 9 dudes up, 9 dudes struck out yesterday.
Well, Stroman pitched yesterday.
Oh, it was 2 days ago.
And Jacob DeGrom has the worst luck of anyone because he's pitching an absolute gem. And then he's like, wait, how am I losing this game 3-1? Like, can you score some runs for Jacob DeGrom? He is the best pitcher in baseball that just can never get his team to score 4 runs.
Something else, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. The dude has a whip under 1. That's impossible these days.
Yes. But the fact that he went through the lineup, I mean, 9 up, 9. When was the last time 9 guys in a row struck out? 9 in a row.
Where's the Elias?
Yeah.
Get him on the phone.
Yeah. All right. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Do you watch any Hope over the weekend?
How about that Saturday night special? Steph versus Tatum? Woo-wee.
Steph scored, 47? Tatum scored 44? Is that what the numbers were? 47-44. The Celtics beat the Warriors. The shot making, I know it shouldn't surprise me. I know I'm not supposed to, like Steph, some of the shots, they're double teaming him. And it still just stuns me, some of the shots that guy makes.
Oh, it's... Greatness should not bore you, and that is Steph Curry when it comes to shooting the basketball because the defensive looks he's getting, what teams are trying to do. They say, I want Kelly Oubre, I want Andrew Wiggins shooting the basketball. Nope, it's Steph Curry still somehow, some way scoring 40 points. The last 2 weeks have just been unbelievable for Steph. Now he came up against Jason Tatum and the Celtics. That just had a little bit more than they did at the end. And how about Jason Tatum rising to the occasion, kind of reminding everybody, yeah, it's been rough to start this season, but he can be that dude that steps up like that and just makes it a nightmare for the opponent. And that was so much fun to see going back and forth. And that was one of those moments because that's what it's about. It's like, what is going to peak? What's going to spark? Steph versus Jason Tatum, probably two guys you never thought about, a duel back and forth. And it was marquee television on Saturday night.
Celtics beat them 119-114, and the Warriors are still kind of hanging around in that play-in tournament or whatever we're calling that. All right, we're talking soccer. When we come back, Jaden Edwards is going to be with us, the author of the Golden Goal that gave the Lobos a conference championship late on a cold Saturday night out at the UNM soccer complex. Hey, want to suggest you call International Protective Service, IPS, for your home or your business security. There's a real good chance, and there's so many people in this town who signed up for home or business security with a local company who promised an armed response. That security then has since been bought and sold twice. Their security is in the hands of a company from Texas, which is not what they signed up for. It doesn't have to be that way. Make the switch to International Protective Service, IPS. Aaron Jones owns it. He's from Albuquerque. He's not going anywhere. He's passionate about providing protection for your home, family, and business, and you've worked really hard to build that business. IPS has highly trained armed guards watching what's important when you can't be there. 24-hour patrols, armed officers who usually respond to your home alarm within 5 to 7 minutes. Trust your protection to a local company that's passionate about making our city a safer place to live and work. They watch my home. They have for years. I go out of town and let them know. They pick up the newspaper. They pick up the mail if I ask them to. Garbage cans get rolled to the curb and back on garbage day. Just my home's got that lived-in look. International Protective Service. I strongly recommend them at 505-897-2420, 897-2420, or visit them at ipsglobal.com.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
At New Mexico Highlands University, you're more than a student, you're family. Whether you're taking courses in Las Vegas, Santa Fe, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, or Farmington, you'll get that one-on-one attention to inspire you to reach your goals. Let New Mexico Highlands help take your passion and accelerate it into a career and fulfilling life path. Find out why New Mexico Highlands is the right choice for you. Log on to NewMexicoHighlands.com today.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough.
Now to the Lobo Soccer Complex. 2 nights ago, cold, windy, chilly, big crowd. I mean, COVID crowd, right? It's the opening drive, Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck. Celebration was on. The countdown was on. Bob, are we on? Jaden's with us, correct?
Phone's ringing now.
Beautiful. Everything's on the line. Conference championship on the line. Lobos have had an unbelievable season. They earned the home field advantage in the conference. Don't call it a championship game, final, even though the championship was on the line. I'm calling it a championship game. And they're counting down over the loudspeaker, 10, 9, 8. People are getting ready to pop the cork and everything, and then bang. San Diego State scores with 4 seconds to go. We're going to play overtime, and it's cold. You thought you were getting warm. You thought you were celebrating. Well, you're celebrating a short time later because Jaden Edwards had the golden goal. Scores in overtime, and the Lobos are champions of the Mountain West Conference. Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck, we welcome to the opening drive Jaden Edwards, who scored that golden goal. Good morning, Jaden. How you living?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you guys?
Good, good. Has your phone stopped buzzing yet? Have you? I know you've thought about it quite a bit. It's still got to be fresh. You probably looked at it from every angle. Phone slowed down a little bit?
It has, yeah. I mean, I'm still coming down from the excitement. I know we all are, but yeah, still getting back into the swing of things, honestly.
Put it into perspective, and you've done a lot of things athletically and just everything that was on the line. And now that you're a couple, day and a half away from it, and away from the emotion, is it bigger now that you've kind of got away and put it in perspective of what it all means?
Yeah, I really think it is. Looking back at it, it was probably one of the greatest moments of my soccer career so far, to be honest. Just having that many fans there, the football team, having the home field, playing for an NCAA berth, it was really just a once-in-a-lifetime moment. I think I've never experienced anything like that. And to have my team behind me and to be able to celebrate like that, it's hard to explain, honestly, but it was a great time that I don't think will ever be reciprocated again.
Can you walk us through the end of regulation? Because I was deflated. Just watching it, and I wasn't out there. The championship's there. You're 20 seconds away. They got a corner kick. You're 18 seconds away. They're 14 seconds away. All right, she's got the ball down. She's going to get it in. You're about ready to celebrate, and bang, you've dominated them for the last half and a half, and they score to send it to overtime. What was that like? Were you at a point where you thought you had it won, or were you still just kind of oblivious to time? Walk us through that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I thought we had it won with 10 seconds left. I think anyone really would who was there thought it was over, honestly. But like you said, it was very deflating to have that goal as the commentators are counting down 4 seconds left. Very deflating, of course, but when we went back into the huddle after regulation, Heather really brought us together and told us that it's our time to rise. It's our time to come together more than we ever have before. And she told us that we're not going into a second overtime. We're going to get it done in the first. And I think after we heard that from Heather, knowing that she had our back, yes, it sucked, but we still had 20 minutes to get a goal, and we were able to do that as a team, which I think is one of the highlights of the game itself, to be able to bounce back from a goal like that in the last 5 seconds. It was definitely deflating, like you said, but we were able to, with the special team we had, we were able to get back and score one away and not get too deflated from it.
Jaden Edwards is with us on the opening drive, the author of that golden goal on Saturday night.
And Jaden, it wasn't just the San Diego State scoring. Then they had that moment, that indirect free kick early in OT. What was that like, seeing your team have to line up, just a few yards away from goal with San Diego State having an opportunity that ultimately went wide?
Right. That was a crazy moment, to be honest. Most teams, we don't really practice kicks like that in the box. They don't usually happen like that. But we had Emily, our goalkeeper. She was a huge voice in that. She told us where to go, what to do, that she was going to run out. And we just had to watch the goal. I think there were 9 of us standing on the goal line, hoping they wouldn't score from there. But I think that also comes from the chemistry we have, the organization. We're able to just back each other, and we had that. We were confident that we could stop that, having it be such a close shot on goal. But after that, it was definitely a relief that they didn't make that, and then we came down and were able to score almost right away.
And Jenny, you talk about that team chemistry and culture, which everyone has echoed this season, and it really goes back to last summer as well, because there was a stretch. It was 482 days between your guys' last game in 2019 until you stepped on the field against Colorado State this season. So how important was it last year with what Coach Dyke did, the team, the assistants, to keep you guys together in a time where you couldn't be together?
Right. I've said this many times. It was so important this last summer, the last 400 or so days, that we were able to not be able to physically see each other, but we would do stuff not together all the time. We would Zoom with each other just to see each other, to get caught up and all that. When we finally were able to come here, it was the best time. We were able to see each other and play with each other. But that chemistry, like you said, it's just a huge factor in the sport of soccer. And without it, it's really hard to win games and compete. And knowing that we have each other's backs, and that with all this time in COVID, we were able to keep that team chemistry. It's really shows the type of coaching leadership that we have and the type of people that we have, that we're able to stick together in all these hard times, for sure.
Lobo Jr. Jaden Edwards is with us. Jaden, I think all of us who are around athletics for any period of time hear about culture, and we hear about character, and it's always so easy to talk about character. It's another thing to show it. And I don't know how you can define the character of this team. It's easy to talk about it, but you showed it. And you talked about being deflated, and Heather talking you through that period between regulation and overtime. But character is, how do you respond when things don't go your way? And you could have folded, and many teams would have. Character is shown, and I think that's what this team showed in spades on Saturday night.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you. One thing that is clear to me when you talk about character and bouncing back is our team. We were probably one of the only teams who was knocked out by COVID due to state regulations for the longest time out of anyone, and we had the least amount of practice time this summer. And preseason, we didn't have any preseason games. But like you said, it shows a lot about our team character, our team culture, being able to come back from that and not making it an excuse. We just work harder and are able to come out of that stronger. And the talk after regulation into overtime was really something, it's hard mentally to bounce back from something like that. But our team character of just pushing through, we're used to the adversity, we're used to being the underdogs, we're used to not being able to practice and be together. But we rise from that, and we were able to come together as a team and score, and it was just a great feeling to finally have it all come to winning a trophy in the end.
Yeah, we're not done yet. Now you go on to the NCAA tournament, where I know you want to do damage. And at what point, when you get back on the field, I mean, when do you start looking forward instead of backwards? Because now you got work to do and a whole new set of goals.
Right, of course. We're so excited to be able to go to North Carolina and play at that national level. We're actually just about to go watch the selection show. It's in about an hour, but I think once we see who we're going to play today and where we're going to go and when we're going to go, I think that's when we start looking forward. It's definitely hard to not dwell on the past and think of how such a good job we've done, but we're not done yet. We're trying to keep going in this season and not have it be over, and represent New Mexico well and see who we get to play, and I think it'll just be a great time.
You know, Jaden, you go into Saturday night, you're playing for a championship, you accomplish that. You go into the NCAA tournament. You know, this is ultimately the goal that you and all your teammates came to the University of New Mexico to achieve and chase. So what was it through that first time that you talked with Heather, when you think about being a high school player, looking at what your collegiate future was going to be? What sold you on this decision to play collegiately?
I think the biggest thing was talking to Heather and knowing Heather's background and the connections she has and her coaching past and what she's done with the women's side of soccer was just so inspirational to me and something that I wanted to be a part of. She kept telling me that New Mexico is a great community and that we'll have fans behind your back, and you'll represent the city very well. And that's definitely something that I've experienced and something that I wanted to be a part of when I was recruiting and being recruited here. Heather, and coming to New Mexico itself, I really wanted to change coming from Seattle originally. So I just think both Heather and the community and Albuquerque itself, it was definitely a clear decision for me. I wanted to be a part of, no doubt.
Well, that moment will live forever. Have we named it yet? Is there a name on this yet? I was thinking the Jaden Jolt or the Edwards Ender or the Frigid Follow, Cold End, Tidal Toe, Tidal Touch. Do we like any of those?
I like those.
Is there any?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I haven't heard one yet on social media, but those are awesome.
Hashtag
JJ,
it. Let's get it going.
Which one do we like? The Jaden Jolt, Edwards Ender?
I might have to put it on a poll.
Ender.
The Edwards Ender is pretty good.
Right off of her
Hashtag
Tidal Toe?
Get the trophy.
Yeah.
Yes,
well, take.
I love that.
We'll work on it. We'll put them on the poll. Take the Tidal Toe to North Carolina. And, hey, Jaden, enjoy that. Lowell fans completely did. And I know that's one that nobody will ever take away from you, that moment. Appreciate the time you spent with us. Really enjoyed the conversation. Go enjoy the selection show, and best of luck in North Carolina.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Congratulations on all the success.
Thank you.
Jaden Edwards. What do you like? You like Jaden Jolt? Edwards Ender.
The Edwards Ender. It's rising to the top.
All right. Frigid
like that.
Follow, just because it was so cold and it was a second chance.
Yeah.
Cold End. It was a cold ending.
There's some good headlines. Should have.
Yeah, right off of her Tidal Toe or the Tidal Touch. Yeah.
The Tidal Touch. Edwards Ender.
Edwards Ender is probably the one instead of Jaden Jolt. Yeah. All right, well, I'll go. That's it. It's the Edwards Ender, and it shall live forever. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my
Paseo I-25 right there. Boom, hit your gym. Let's go. Team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Plan your adventure at WNMU.edu.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Hayes. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Greg Martinez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Hi, I'm Marilena Fernandez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
The New Mexico Army National Guard is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Micah, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning. Welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Played, top of the 18. Morgan's there, one-on-one with the keeper, and that opens the scoring. Rachel Morgan, the senior, finds the back of the net, and it's 1-0 St. Mike's.
Oliveris for 3. Yes.
Well, I like that young man.
Good transition opportunity for the Bulldogs. Deep three's up, and it's good by number 11, Annika Reed.
Rowe gets it, boots it forward. Myers is there, she's able to head it, and she controls. Dugan's there, she's at the center. She gets across, shoots, and scores! Hello! What can you say there? Hello! And that is Alexa Duggan, who goes across the body.
Fair. Gonzalez going to get all the way to the basket here. Off the window with the extra kiss, and it's good for Gonzalez.
That ball played to the top of the 18. Morgan. Nice turn. Morgan, left-footed shot. Morgan! 3-0. And that is a brace for Rachel Morgan, the senior from St. Michael's.
Underneath for Alter. Tries the slam and does it. So in 2... comes the pressure. Hasbury takes it away and sends it in.
There's a top 10 play right there, I can tell you that.
The last-ditch effort for the Wildcats. They are cornered right now. That ball goal! It's the long goal from Contreras! Holy cow! Luke Contreras absolutely launched that ball.
Daniel coming out. There's Edwards. And in the back of the net. Get the trophy. The New Mexico Lobos are your Mountain West Conference champions.
JJ Buck on the Mountain West Network. That was the Edwards Ender. I mean, every great moment's got to have a moniker to remember it by, right? Like Miracle on Ice, you know what we're talking about. Was shot heard around the world to go back to 1951, right? Those big moments. I mean, I'm listening. If you got a better one, I'm listening. The Edwards Ender, though.
I like it, Edwards Ender.
All right, can I claim that?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, anybody. I don't need credit. I don't care. Just find a name for it. If you like the Jade and Jolt better, but Edwards Ender, coming off of her title toe. Or the title touch. You can call it the title touch.
You might have a future in headline writing.
The title touch. I thought she was fantastic. I'm so impressed almost all the time. But the vast majority of the time when we are fortunate to speak with the student athletes, I just am so impressed with their composure, their perspective, and for her, I just not that I expected anything differently. Please don't take it that way. I so enjoy when we get to speak with the student athletes. I've told you this for years. We talk to coaches all the time because at the college level, the coaches are accessible more than the student athletes. But as much as I enjoy the relationships we have with coaches, I enjoy the conversations with the student athletes more.
I agree. It's, their stories, their performance, that's what it's all about, and the journey of a student athlete, and to be able to get a little bit into who they are, how the teams are handling it, and especially the last year. Like, these are the conversations that I want to have. Like, how did you deal with it? How the heck did you find a way through that? The only thing you did probably was buy yourself with a soccer ball most of last year, let alone then to come out here and find out 3 weeks before the season starts that, oh yeah, by the way, you can get together and practice as a team now, and then be here going to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I mean, look, every team, and I've said this a lot, every team in America, I don't care what your sport, I don't care what your level has gone through something. Every person on this globe, honestly, there's not often you can say every person on the globe has this, but we all do. Like, we've all been affected by this. And so the teams who have risen as we come back, it's extra special because it's been just such a bizarre, unique, pick your word year. But the teams in New Mexico have had it tougher than other teams in athletics because of just the restrictions in our state that have been tougher or more strict consistently than anywhere else. And, it's been tough in places in California at times, but this was to her point. Now you take that and then you take the talent. She was the player of the year in Washington. To come down here, and I think it was a great question you asked her, why here, coming down from the Seattle area, where there's terrific players and a lot of opportunity and a lot of different options for her. And Heather got her down here. And I'll tell you, women's sports in particular, basketball and soccer, have really good success over the years in Washington State in recruiting. I mean, I'll go back to Katie Kern in basketball was from Washington, and Jennifer Williams, and a lot of women's basketball players, and then Jaden here. But to have that moment and get the Edwards Ender off of that, and that's a moment. Look, in UNM athletic lore, while granted it's not football or men's basketball, that's a moment, man. A walk-off moment like that, a title walk-off moment. I mean, give me something that's comparable, because I'm listening. You got a comparable walk-off championship moment?
One that jump off to me. I'm sure people are going through the record books right now, and we'll find it. That's what we love about our audience, is they know. Yeah. They'll let you know, like, oh, by the way, this happened. But it goes up there, and just seeing the reaction, the intensity around the game from just so many sports fans, I think that was the biggest key. Is that was a crossover moment. Like, there were a lot of people that didn't watch every game this women's soccer season. They're like, oh, that's cool. They're doing pretty well. Saturday night was one of those moments where you had their attention, and boy, did they give them a show.
Yeah, that was a great show. It was a great show. All right, we're going to spend a lot of this week going into the draft. The draft it's next week now. The draft is one where I get numb. I do. I listen to it, but I just, it's literally from the end of the Super Bowl through April. It's 3 months of draft talk, and I listen, but I can't I get saturated on it pretty quickly. But usually the week before, which is now, I start saying, all right, I'm listening now. Now I'm taking it, more seriously. So we'll get more into the NFL draft, which is really going to, starts at 3, I think.
It does. Because which quarterback do the 49ers take? If they don't take Justin Fields, then there is a feeding frenzy at 4 teams that say, you know what, this is our guy. So absolutely the intrigue. Is it actually Mac Jones? Is that a smokescreen? Is it going to be out of nowhere Trey Lance coming in, sitting behind Jimmy G for a year? Starts at 3.
Trey Lance had another pro day, right? And so everybody was up in Fargo this weekend, and every team was there and watching Trey Lance work out. And you get good, nice, tight shots of the tattoo on his back and him on the scale in his underwear. And it was, it was more focus on Fargo than any time since the movie came out, right?
Since Carson Wentz was throwing some passes, possibly.
So it was Carson Wentz and Jared Goff, right? Is that who was the top 2?
Even when Carson was coming out, he was still kind of this guy that are like, are we sure about this kid? All right, they're winning a lot of games up there, but
I think they're still saying that, aren't they?
That's why he was in Indianapolis.
I think they're still saying, are we sure about this guy? Right? No, we'll see. You get baseball tonight. You get your hoops. Also this week, we're going to kind of familiarize you, whoever it's going to be, and I'm working through with the Isotopes on this, but we're going to familiarize you with the way to get your tickets for Isotopes baseball this year, because it's not going to be the same, even season ticket holders. At 25% capacity, what you need to know as we get closer and closer to Isotopes baseball, so that's coming as well. Good stuff today. I want to say thank you to Jaden Edwards, and I'll give you co-Jadens of the year. Jaden Edwards and Jaden De La Cerda. Both are champions, conference champions. Jim Rome Show will be next. The Herd with Colin Cowherd after that. Sports Bar with Trulio and Carlisle this afternoon at 4. That's more local talk. We're back tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. with award-winning radio for you. Aaron, thank you for keeping us on the TV side almost all of the time. Robert Cat, another week of temp work for you. Glad you're here.
Well, I like being here.
Yeah. JJ, enjoy the day. Nothing for you to call today, huh? Joy. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll see you tomorrow. Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Micah, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning. Welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitate.
Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Micah, Josh produces. Jeff Siembieda.